Hello, viewers. We are here again today. We are the Open Pulpit. And the discussion today is very interesting because there are a number of things we are seeing here in the US. A lot of mixed marriages, cross-cultural marriages, and dating, etc., which we believe is very good. But the wonderful thing is that those who are involved are Christians. And that's why we said, okay, let's come together. Let's discuss these issues. Let's see how we're blessing ourselves so that people out there also can learn something. So we have wonderful couples here, to my right and to my left. And I'm going to ask each couple to introduce, each person to introduce himself or herself, beginning with my friend here on the right.
Hello, my name is Newton Okewoye, and this is my wife. I am a teacher at this point. I teach mathematics.
Hello, my name is Leah Okewe. I am his wife for 11 years, and
Wow.
we have 2 children. So I am a wife, a mother, a home, and a homemaker.
Homemaker, fantastic. Wife and a homemaker. Thank you so much. Yes, baby, you are next.
Hello, my name is Michaela Abbey. This is my husband. I'm currently a student studying nursing. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
That's good. Very good.
My name is Anthony Abe. I have my own business and I'm also a student.
Good. So that's who we are. So the question is, how did this start? How did you start? If you want to start with us, how did you find yourself getting married to Leah, who is not a Nigerian?
Okay, our story is a bit special because we met in Nigeria,
Wow.
and I think it was God, because the first time I saw her, I was at church. I was leading worship like I typically would do, and she walked into church, and that was the first time seeing each other, and it went on from there.
Wow. So who came to chase who? Leah, what happened? You saw him
There was
worshiping?
was not really any, I would say, chasing.
Okay.
So that's where I agree that it was definitely God, because I had already gotten to know that church, and he was formerly at that church.
Okay.
And so God brought him back to that church while
Because of you.
I don't know. Yes, I guess so.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I would say yes.
Yes, actually. So when I had traveled and come back to Nigeria, and in that point in my mind, I had surrendered any relationship, because I wasn't in any relationship, but I had surrendered it completely to God at that point. And so walking into that church, I saw him leading worship, and the whole service, I was like, nope, you literally just, like, when you traveled, said, no, you're not going to do this. He's clearly Nigerian. And so I was basically arguing with my thoughts and God that whole entire
Wow.
service.
You love his worship.
I can't say that I loved his worship. It was more, I can't explain it.
She was confused. Don't worry, Pastor.
So you worshiping powerfully. She saw you. Probably caught the bug without knowing that maybe she caught the bug. All right. Okay. All right. So tell us your own story.
I've been in the country. I'm an immigrant, and I've been in the country for like 4 years before I met her. And there was this certain day I just came back from work, and I found somebody in my living room because I live with my friends. So she probably came with somebody, and I just saw her, and I just spoke to her, and we exchanged numbers, and that was how it started.
That's how it started.
Yeah.
But were you looking to have a relationship before she came, or seeing her was what engineered a relationship in your heart?
Yeah, I was already looking forward to a relationship, but there was nobody coming forth, and I was of age, so a lot of people are already calling me, when are you going to
Be
take
married,
this?
be settled.
Yeah,
Okay, all
yeah.
right.
When are you going to take a step forward and do what you're supposed to do? But I just kept hoping, and when I met her, I never knew it's going to get serious
Mm.
until we started talking.
Until you got serious.
Yeah.
Makela, so you are not frightened when he started talking to you. How did you feel?
I feel relaxed. Like he didn't come off too strong. He was really like gentle. He was really nice.
So what did he say specifically? What did he say?
He just asked me like, "What's your name?" and stuff like that. And then we exchanged numbers. He took me to Jack in the Box, and then we exchanged numbers, and we started texting that night. No, actually, he called me. We started talking on the phone.
So when he spoke to you and you discovered that he's not American, he's Nigerian, how did you feel?
I didn't feel any way. I didn't feel any way. It was something new, but I didn't feel like any way about it.
Amen. Now, you met each other in Nigeria. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. But I know what happens in Nigeria when you see a white lady or a white man. And what are people saying when they see you on the street walking together or talking together? Or what was your experience with that?
I think that for many people, it was a positive thing. Yeah.
Fantastic.
For many people, especially strangers, people would see us go together, go places, go to Mama Put, because we used to do that a lot. You know?
Maput is a local restaurant, you know?
Yeah. So we would go to a local restaurant, and they really liked us. They just liked the fact that there was a white girl that was coming into their store, and we would go there anytime we wanted to just go out. We would go to it. We rarely went to any
Classic
Western. Yeah, we
Western
really
food.
did that. She didn't even want it.
Wow.
I guess she was tired of all the other places she had gone to here. So we'd go there, eat with our hands, no spoon, no fork, you know. And so it was a good experience. And then we would walk, and then we would wear African prints,
Outfits, okay.
outfits.
All
you know.
right.
That
So
was after we were married.
that was after we got married. No,
We were-
that was wearing the same thing. You know, we wouldn't wear the same thing before we got married, but as soon as we got married, we started wearing the same thing. I would walk on the street, and we didn't feel.
But if it's Nigeria that I knew when I was growing up, didn't they sing to her, sing her on the street?
The children would
Yes.
sing.
What kind of song do they sing?
You want me to sing this?
I want to sing it. Let's sing it, man.
Oibo Pepe, chuku chuku Pepe, you go eat a Pepe, you go yellow mama.
Wow, Oyibo Pepe.
Yeah.
You go eat the Pepe, you
but
go
you see,
yellow
it begins with
mama.
Oyibo Pepe, Chuku Chuku Pepe.
Yeah.
If you eat more pepper,
Pepe,
you go yellow mama.
Yeah.
Is that true? When you eat pepper, why you yellow
It
mama?
means if you eat
Spicy
food, your
Yes.
face will turn either red or yellow.
Wow.
The more you eat the spicy food, making fun of lighter skinned people. But after a while, you just get used to it and you learn to sing it with them, or you learn to clap, or you dance a little jig, and then they're all excited and it's,
Amen. That's
yeah,
hilarious.
you just be nice back.
Okay, so when he spoke to you and it was getting serious, and you told your people, what did he say?
They told me to just, take things slow and
He
really
said
think
you
about
take
it.
things slow.
And really think about the decision and stuff like that.
Did you take it slow?
Yeah.
Convince me that you took it slow. How did you take it slow?
Well, I was talking to him for a few months, and I wasn't really ready to get into a relationship, so it took us a while before we started dating. We
Yeah.
were just talking and getting to know each other until we were ready.
And then you told your people also eventually that you're getting married here. Did they ask you any question when you said she's American?
Right from time, my mom has never been against me getting married to anybody from anywhere. She's always been saying it since we were kids. But for my dad, it was he actually wants his kids. He has always been telling us that he wants us to get married from his church.
Oh, not his village.
He was so particular about his church, not where the person is coming from. He just wants his church. So once it's not his church,
He's not interested.
he told me, oh, like my church is in US. Have you tried to go there?
What's the name of the church?
Gospel Faith Mission.
Oh, that's a good church.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
church. I don't blame him.
That's where
Yes.
I grew up.
It's a good church.
Yeah. So I tried. I knew he wasn't happy with my decision, but I sent some pictures to him. So when he saw the pictures, it was okay. It's
like
a
father, like
consolation.
son.
It's a consolation.
So
So
your tastes are similar. That's what we are hearing here.
so it was like, okay,
Let's go for it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so since we now got to a point where we are serious, at what point in the relationship would you begin to see that this is slightly different? At what point do you begin to see some challenges, like changing culture? At what point you want to start with that?
You can let him start.
Okay. All right.
For me, I'm very conservative, and the way I spend money, I can be so stingy to myself. Yeah, like I account for each dollar I spend.
Wow.
So that's my kind of person, and maybe it's as a result of my background. And so anytime we go out like that, she always want to buy something and stuff like that. But for me, I prefer let's
budget first.
so like I always believe, okay, let's buy something and get home and cook, you know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but later on I got to discover that she's more about what she wants. Like this is what I want. This is what is going to give me joy and happiness.
Amen.
So it's not about, oh, let's preserve or let's look at the budget. Let's look at the. She's more about
living, about life.
Yeah, my heart desires this. So I got to a point. When I discovered that, I just have to let her be.
You chill.
Yeah.
Talk to me. What's going on about? Is it food alone or just any other thing you want to buy?
Yeah, generally that's the way she is.
Michaela, that's where you are. Tell us the way you are.
Yeah, I do like to buy stuff a lot and shop. And he's always like, you spend money too much. You need to stop. You need to save. And I'm just like, I need it. And, yeah, so he's always telling me that I need to stop spending money. But
that's a good problem, you know. It's a good problem. Yeah, in your case, what happened? Was there a time when you believed to see that there's a difference in the culture that is bringing this up or something?
Are we talking about before marriage or after marriage?
Both. I mean, anyone wants to talk about, it's an open forum.
Oh,
You want to go first?
I'm trying to think.
Okay, take your time. Let me talk about some things.
Okay.
So the first time I visited her, okay, I was really hungry.
Wow.
And as a young African, I was expecting that when you go visit your girlfriend or your fiancé, they would give you food. Okay? You didn't have to say you were hungry. They would just say, will you
that's
eat?
the matter. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So,
part of the welcoming thing.
when I got there, she was very excited that I was there. I was excited too, but the hunger was really, really torture. It was killing me.
I know this.
Yeah. So we sat together. There were some friends around there too. So we talked, we played, but I needed to eat. And at that point, I started feeling sick. You know, when you get to a point where you're so hungry, you start feeling sick. So I said I needed to eat. And she was very quick to go get me food. The thing was that for her, what she gave me was enough food. For me, yeah, you get it. For me, because of the culture I'm from, I was looking for a heap of maybe a bao fufu or something. So when I looked, I was just kidding. So after eating, when I saw the what she served me, I think she served me a sandwich and
American food.
and egg. Yes, it was basically American, and she was living in the American quarters
Oh, I see.
there. So
How do you expect to find fufu in American
I was
quarters?
not thinking, Pastor. so when I saw the food, I ate it, but there was that dissatisfaction in me that what have I brought myself into? That am I going to just start losing weight, from now because I'm gonna not be eating? But I ate the food, but we did talk about it after that time, and I said, when I say I want food, I want a lot. But that was a cultural difference because I see here that it's a different thing, and now I've come to, and now I'm now used to that thing that I didn't like the first day.
Whoa.
I can now eat a sandwich.
I think I can relate to that because when I got here also, when in the college where I was teaching, they said we're going to have lunch. So I was very happy. Then they brought pizza. Pizza.
No.
I felt so bad. I said, this is no food to me. This is refreshment. 2 triangles, 2 pieces of triangles. But eventually, right now, I love pizza.
That's it.
So, how do you cook? You eat American food or you eat Nigerian food? What do you eat at home? Or you don't eat at home?
We eat at home.
Okay, so what do you eat?
Well, I don't just cook American food. I cook like Mexican food, like anything. I can cook a lot. And also, like, he makes like Nigerian food, fufu, and not fufu, pound.
Pando. You do not to eat that also? Where it makes it?
Yeah.
Who makes the stew?
I do.
You make the stew, but you don't. There isn't much. It's not too pepperish or anything. It's not too spicy.
Yeah. For me, I like it when it's
Spicy.
it has a lot of pepper, but I have to consider her. Because if I don't consider her, the food will get wasted.
Yeah,
so
she won't be able to
she won't eat it. So I just have to.
She'll be shedding tears when she's eating it.
Did you hear what
Yes.
Leah said?
What she said?
Leah, what did you
You'll
say?
get used to it. The tears will eventually dry up.
There was a day
Yeah.
that she made rice stew, and I tasted it. I said, "What? It was so spicy," and she was not complaining.
Wow.
I have changed my mind.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's very good. Okay, now let's talk about your religion. You are both Christians, all Christians, right?
Yeah.
But what's your approach? Is there a difference in the way you worship God as a Nigerian, as an American? As American as a Nigerian, are you born again?
Yeah.
Oh, I just want to be sure. Are you also born again?
Yes, I am.
Amen. All right. Okay. Of course, I know you are born again. And you are born again too. You are all saying yes. Yeah. You didn't ask me, Pastor, are you born again yourself?
Are you born again, Pastor?
I'm very born again. It's a good
It
question.
would be a great risk.
Yeah. So the way things are these days, you never can be sure of who is born again. Talking seriously, because it's not everybody that carries Bible, or it's not everybody that raises holy hands, shouting, screaming, hallelujah, singing choruses that born again. But the one that does the will of God, as many as are led by the Spirit of God, those are the sons of God. Okay. So now, do you at any time imagine, if I'd married a Caucasian, what would my life have been compared with marrying Nathan, an African?
I think spiritually, I don't know if it would have been any more different. Church style and where probably would definitely be different. But I was in Nigeria before I even met him. So I was already starting to get used to the way the average Nigerian worshipped God. So by that time, I was there a year and a half before I met you. Yes. So by that time, I was kind of aware of how the average Nigerian will dance more in their church. The music is a lot louder. So I was already accepting it.
Okay.
Like in Nigeria, by that time I had met him, I had already started to fall in love with the culture. So it wasn't that much different once I met him. And then when I saw that he was leading the worship, and when he led the worship, it wasn't like, you could tell when somebody's leading the worship, they lead it because they want the congregation to look at them. Or you have the worship leader that truly, honestly, you don't see the worship leader. You see God in the worship leader, and you can praise God with that person. And I clearly saw that right away. I knew that he was not doing it for himself, that he was doing it for God. And so I saw God in him.
So you fell in love with God
time.
first. You fell in love with him.
Oh, he was very handsome. He still is. Looks were definitely in it. That's not, I won't lie about that. There was definitely a good looking man in front of me.
When I was younger.
You are still good looking. I was going to say that.
This man's
Now,
really
questions.
Yeah.
I've heard this said several times that we black people, when we are angry, we yell. When we
No,
are speaking, does he yell when he's
I
angry?
yell way more than him.
Wow.
It's very
So
honest.
maybe he's a black Caucasian. Like, we are he doesn't
No,
yell.
Pastor, I think my case is I'm a loud speaker. I would say that. So when I speak, I don't want you to tell me you didn't hear what I said.
Okay.
So I developed that attitude growing up that you have to speak clearly. Now, when I yell, usually it's for the kids.
Oh, okay.
There's
Usually.
a tone of voice that he has.
Yeah.
There's definitely tones of voice in his voice that you can hear. And then I'll be like, why are you yelling? I'm like, well, actually, he's not yelling. So I'm like, why? So I've learned to say, why do you have that tone? Like, you have the tone. So,
Does he yell sometimes when he's angry?
But he normally just make a lot of noise. He's talking loud all the time. So
Talking loud,
yeah.
complaining to nobody in particular.
No, he just I don't know. He just loud like originally, and then when he yelling, yeah, I can tell he's mad or upset.
Oh, yeah, you don't know how to yell.
I can get loud if I need to, but I'm not as loud as he is. No.
Yeah. Okay. Now, at this point, let's get to the aspects of the strong advantages of cross-cultural marriages. You want to start? What do you see as a strong advantage?
The way I look at myself, even if I end up getting married to a Nigerian, I may have some problem because I'm not trying to talk down about Nigeria right now, because
course not.
naturally there are some things I don't like about the female folks in Nigeria, the way they bring out their attitude and stuff like that. So right from time, I always know that when I get married, even before I came to this country, I always think that I'm going to end up with a Nigerian girl. And I always think when I get married, I'm going to have problem with all those kind of things.
Okay.
But
All right.
now that I met her, I was like, okay, this is what I want. This is how it's supposed to be.
This is how it's supposed to be. Is that how it's supposed to be? Makela, tell us.
What, like my advantages?
Yeah, advantages, yes.
Well, learn about like African culture in general, and learn about Nigeria. I think if I wasn't with him, I wouldn't know as much as I do know now. Yeah, and like he's always telling like stories and stuff, and so
So it's like going back to your roots, so to say. You learn some
yeah,
things
exactly.
from it.
Africa.
Things you have spent money to learn in college.
Yeah.
You are getting free of charge.
Sort of.
And another advantage for me is that there are some things I just do that I don't know that it's bad. There are some things
Wait.
Okay.
Did you hear what he said?
Yeah.
Tell us you do that you think that you know is bad, but now you learn that it's bad.
Like there are some statements I just make, and I never know that like it's not really occurring to me that it's a racist statement. And then she would tell me, no, you don't talk like that. Like there was a time we went to the mechanic, and the mechanic was so good and he fixed our car. And I was like, don't worry, like I'll get you tacos. Like, you want tacos?
Because it's Mexican.
Yeah, it's Mexican.
Oh!
So So the guy was like, "What are you saying? Like, I don't eat tacos. I only eat salad. I eat salad." I was like, "You're Mexican. You're supposed to like tacos." Then it was. I felt
This
like
is hilarious.
I felt like he wasn't really accepting it very well. He knew that I was trying to be friendly to him, but he wasn't really happy with it. And I felt like there's something happening. But it was when we got into the car, then she told me that was racist, like because he's Mexican, so he should like tacos.
Okay, let me explain to you. Do you understand what just happened?
Yeah.
Okay, a white guy comes to you and for a service, I render a good service. I now look at you and say, "Oh, thank you so much. I'll get you ever." That's the way it is.
Yeah.
But that's good. But it's not only you. We all immigrants are learning new languages, new culture. That's a good advantage. Yeah, advantage. Yes, ma'am.
Advantages was, I think for me, at the point when I met him, I had already traveled and experienced a lot. Like yes. And so at that point, it was almost, I was even like praying. I'm like, God, who is meant for me that is going to understand all of the cultures that I've learned, all of the places I've been, because I would honestly, I would come back to America and people wouldn't understand me. Like I had got to the point where I had so much knowledge about the world. There wasn't, the average guy I would come across, he would just nod, like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And so when I met him, he's naturally wants to learn. He's very much of an awesome, handsome nerd. But what I noticed right away was I could talk to him about ideas and exploring and wanting to go somewhere and dreams. That was most of our conversations early on. What are our dreams? Where do we plan on going? Bigger things in life. And he was understanding. He was on that same wavelength. And even though he hadn't traveled as much, he still knew enough to meet me in the middle.
Fantastic. Advantage from your side, sir.
Tons of advantages. Firstly, I think this was it was a perfect marriage because most people who knew me always thought that I was just not like the regular, ordinary person that they came across.
Yeah.
I had taken time, even while I was a kid, to try to up my English to speak better, even though I grew up in the ghetto part of the country.
Of Africa, okay, all right.
Yes. And the thing was just that I have learned a lot. I used to read, but I knew many words before I met her, but I was saying those words wrongly because of how the people around me were saying them. So one major advantage.
Particularly some teachers.
Oh yeah. So one
taught
major
us.
advantage of me meeting her was that I would say a word, she would say, "That's not how you say it." So my English got a lot better after meeting her because I knew words.
Like, what is this word?
Hey, love, we can't start that now.
That was my biggest pet peeve. He said it right though.
So, oh no, that we're not doing that here.
Teach us. What's that thing?
No, we used to have this fight over water and water.
Water.
No, what's up?
No.
You
Okay,
never
so
said
that's
it like
the
that.
pigeon. When you say water.
Yeah. Oh, that's
pigeon.
pigeon.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
And the
okay.
people around us say, "Give me water," or "Give me water."
Okay.
Things like that.
Oh, okay.
But I would say
You wouldn't say
water,
that.
and she would say water, and then the kids around us will say what, and she say, "It's not water. It's." Okay. So I picked up a lot of words. I learned that it was also an advantage that I think she did boost my status in Nigeria. It did. Maybe not here.
Think.
Okay. No, what I'm saying is on the streets, if you ever went anywhere with a white woman, there's this assumption. It was both an advantage and a disadvantage.
Yes.
They thought you were richer than you were just because your wife was white. So then sometimes you'll have to hide while I go to negotiate over something.
Wow.
Because once they
Wow.
know that there was a white woman in the corner, the price will just
Yeah,
skyrocket.
he would. It was.
Yeah.
He would have to get a new shirt for church, and I would have to stay in the car while he goes and figures out the price. And so, because once they saw me, it's true, it was twice as much.
Yeah.
So let me quickly share something with you. We'll continue. I'm blessed by what you said when you said she elevated your status.
Absolutely.
Guess what? When two right people meet each other, they elevate each other's status. Not necessarily because she's white or black, not necessarily. It's because I know a couple, when I was growing up in Nigeria, I knew a white lady that a guy was going out to waste. But the kind of person that white lady was diminished the status of that guy.
Yes.
And I'm able to say that because when I met my wife, who was a medical student, very pretty, very beautiful, and very intelligent, my status was upgraded in Ibadan among the people in the medical profession, in usage in particular. Also, when it comes to my own career, and people say, "Oh, she's married to an engineer," and things like that. There was time that she told me a story. She took a Mercedes-Benz, my car, to a hospital, and the professor said, "I've been a professor for so many years. I can't even have this kind of. It's not a surprise I'm married to an engineer, that kind of thing."
Yeah.
So why I'm mentioning this is for people to make sure that they get their objectives right, to be sure that the person you are getting involved with, you are going to help each other, elevate each other, not one that will put another one down.
Sure.
Okay. What did people say to you when you were seen around? Did anybody advise you that you have done well, or?
Okay, so in my case, because hers it's obvious. For them, if they were in Nigeria, just somebody seeing you from afar would not know that she was American.
No.
Okay, and had a different culture, but obviously hers
Yeah.
was different. Now, so it attracted a lot of unsolicited advice from people.
Yes.
Okay, people would come and say, "Oh, you know what? Are you sure you're right? Are you sure she's not one of the days? Are you sure she's not gonna get a gun and kill you one day?" Okay, so I've heard that before, and then I had people. The people who gave me the worst advice were the people closest to me, but not in my family.
Okay.
So there were friends and people who saw me as a good person, and they didn't want my life to be destroyed
and they thought
because
they were losing you.
they thought they were helping me.
Okay.
They thought they were trying to help me because they probably had a story from their family or people they know who there was an intercultural marriage or interracial marriage that didn't work out. And they had a sequence of stories like that. They would tell me, just to make me have an alternative to what I had then. That was before we got married. Yeah, but it didn't work out. They told all kinds of stories.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Now, I want each of you to tell me one paradigm shift that happened because you married somebody from outside your culture. One paradigm shift, something you have to adjust to make sure that communication is perfect. You understand my question?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So you want to start? What was the paradigm shift that you did to say, okay, all right, for me and Makela to be happy together, I need to stop doing this. Or I need to start doing this.
For me, I work a lot. I can work for 24 hours.
Wow.
Before I met her, I can work a lot. And when we started dating, I felt like this some sort of disturbance, like
Your work.
yeah, because I believe a good relationship, money is involved when it comes to a good relationship. So I just believe I need to have a lot of money. I need to make money to take care of you, to take care of a lot of things. Even though I know that you're working, but I still believe I'm the man. I should be able to to bring a lot of money out and all those kind of things. But
Isn't that racist? I'm the man. Okay, I'm just joking.
okay, so I discovered that despite that, she wasn't really appreciating the
Your
fact
money.
that she was appreciating the money. She's also making her own money anyway. She's also making her money, but she wasn't more about the kind of comfort that the money can bring. But she's more about me always being around.
Companionship.
Yes, yes. So I discovered that even as much as I want to be responsible financially, she appreciates it more when I give her time, when I spend more time with her.
That's a good shift. Guess what?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with culture. It has nothing to do with cross-cultural. Right? Every woman wants a man to give her sufficient time, which is very good. And I'm sure that people listening to us at home will confirm that also, and those who are married, so to say. So what was your own paradigm shift? What did you have to adjust to be sure that he's happy? What did you have to drop or what did you have to pick up?
For me, I have to learn how to communicate better. Whenever like he does something that I don't like, or like if I do something I don't like, I just like cut off communication. I don't want to be bothered with them, but I have to learn how to, communicate my frustrations with him and let him know like I don't like this. We need to change something about it, and also being more responsible. I have to learn how to be more responsible.
Let me say something about that. Like when we just met, I don't know if this is also cultural or general, but that's just what I realized. Like she will send some Instagram link to me, like send. I will just look at it and I'll drop it. then with time she started saying, "So you want to tell me that you don't know what I'm thinking? You don't know the meaning of that link?" Then I'll go back to it and I'll read it very well. Like, oh, this is what she's trying to say. So with time, I told her, you just communicate to me.
Just talk to me.
Talk to me.
Stop linking me.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
Wow, this is awesome. Yeah. Here, over here. Your paradigm shifts, if any.
Yeah, I would say probably definitely the food. Just knowing how to feed his never-ending stomach.
How to feed us. I love that statement.
It wasn't that I had to learn how to cook his food because he always cooks it better than me anyhow. So when it comes to the spices, I'll go and I know where to buy now, and I'll help him with certain aspects, but I still will be like, all right, make sure the spice is right, please, because I even up till now, I don't like serving him food that he doesn't like. I'm not gonna. Yeah. So, but it's stressful. I mean, definitely stressful. But I've learned. So I've learned to take what he says. Okay, tell me if you don't like it, because then I try to remember not to cook it again or something. And a lot of people will look at that and so. Oh, so you're serving him like that, like almost like but see, that's the way I've learned to show love to him. Okay. So after 11 years of yes, I'm always in the kitchen cooking what I know that he's going to like. It's my way of showing love for him. He's gone all day to work. When he comes home, and he's bringing home, the head of the house, it's only right that I give him something that he wants, or likes.
Did you learn in Africa that proverb that says a man's the passage to a man's
Heart is his
stomach.
belly. Yeah.
Surprisingly, that's in America too, though.
Oh, really?
Yes, because even I grew up in a home where my mother always had dinner ready for my father. It was the one meal, like everybody eats your breakfast, eat your lunch, but the dinner. My mom always made sure that my father had dinner. So growing up in that that aspect, it wasn't hard for me to now do that as a wife myself. So I don't mind that task. It's definitely challenging though, but
But you're up to it.
Absolutely.
Amen.
I can tell you that
Amen.
she's
That's-
been
that's-
amazing.
So what's your own shift?
My shift is, I don't know if it's really a shift because my mindset accommodated those changes even before I got married. I didn't think that it was her job purely to to cook or to do the dishes
Yeah.
or to do the laundry. I just felt it was the responsibility of the family to get things done.
Done.
So
Yeah.
Amen.
if something needs to be done, who
Does
who,
it?
who is free? That's one. Two, who has been idling? Like the kids, I make them do things. I just get home and I see that something needs to be done. I just say, okay, in the next 10 minutes, I want to see people doing this, and then they assign it amongst themselves. So I take up things too that I need to take, and I've come to understand that it's culture.
Which aspect? Now, you want to talk about that culture.
No, I just said that the shift that I had to make
Yeah, okay.
was the weight of your family you bring into your marriage. Because in Africa, you say that your wife is married to your family.
Okay, now.
Okay, you
Yeah.
say your wife is married to your family, and then they get involved in every business in your family. It wouldn't work in this culture. You can bring the entire family into the business of your family. That's a shift that has to come in your brain, that it will not work, because that's not how they run things here. In Africa, we might say, oh, it's family, everybody's doing stuff together. But here it's just different. It's your family.
But that's changing though. In Africa, it's changing. Because I know when I married my wife, she changed, she's Mrs. Fafura, all this, but she's not the wife of everybody. Like
Yeah.
we talk about, you know. I mean, people sending for her to come and cook in somebody's house, to come and do this because she's what people call Yawole. I mean, it's changing. It's
So do you
changing.
think it's a question of your person that made that happen, or it's a culture that's generally changing now?
It's westernization that is going around
Causing
everywhere. Yeah, because in those days where that was rampant, the woman didn't really have any job to do. She was just a wife in the house.
That's true.
The man would go to work, the man would go to the farm and everything. But these days, because we talk about gender equality, even on this program, everybody is busy. Everybody is busy. So if they can treat her as wife of the family for you, then our family should be able to teach you as husband of the family and send you on errands.
That's true.
Now we are rounding up. Now. What is your love language for this young lady?
I like watching comedies a lot.
Alone.
A lot.
A lot alone or with her.
With her.
And she enjoys it.
Yeah. So there are some words we pick from that and we just make fun of that.
And they begin to use it for one another.
Yes, consistently.
How long have you been married?
Going to 2 years now.
Oh, no wonder. It's going to develop. The love language will develop eventually.
Yeah.
Any love language that you want to talk to us about?
For me, it's cooking for him. I like cooking. Like, I come home from work and we both be tired, but I still want to cook something to make sure that he's eating, or always making sure he has what he needs. And just taking care of him. I'm so nurturing.
No, that's good.
It's amazing.
I mean, why you say it's amazing? Tell us why you say it's amazing.
Because for me, that's the language that I understand. Okay? I just think if you want to tell me you love me, just take care of me.
That's why I said it was my biggest one to change on, because I did not cook growing up. I was the middle of 8 kids. I never had to cook. So for me to learn how to cook, let alone in Nigeria, where most of the ingredients are different or hard to come by, it was very hard for me to switch over to learn to do that and to have enough food on the plate.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
I think we've had a wonderful time. I mean, and I think I just want us to, each one of us, to give a parting word for people outside there, you know, about what we're talking about, cross-cultural marriage. Just one statement by each of us, starting with Nipsey.
I would like to leave this with anybody considering cross-cultural relationships, marriages. I think the most important thing is not the culture or the race. The most important thing is the value that the person has gotten from that culture or from that race. That's what you want to look out for and stick to it. If you think that a culture is not a problem for you, well, really, you don't bring all the culture into your family. What you do is you select the things that have become values to you, and then you take it into your relationship. So that's what's important. The values you get from any culture, whether it's religion, whether it's dancing, it's dressing, it's food, it's whatever is important to you. That's most important. You want to stick to that and make that the basis of your judgment, and it also always works.
Thank you so much. Brilliant, Samari. Yes, ma'am.
I would say I agree 100% with what he said, but on top of that, it's not. Oh, yeah, I agree. It's not about the color of the skin or the way the person looks, or it's deeper. If you listened from the beginning, from what we were saying, we weren't pointing out, oh, because he's from Nigeria, oh, because he's from America, oh, because he's white. It was, we found each other because we had similar passions and similar dreams and hopes, and we enjoy each other's company. So as long as you're able to, I would say, be flexible, to know when those cultural differences come up, you have to be flexible and learn to accept that, adapt it, or learn to change it too.
Amen. I'm taking notes, seriously. Not because I'm looking forward to marrying culture. But I do come across many people that need to counsel, need to advise, and that's what I'm getting here this beautiful day. Yes, Makela, what advice do you have for?
I think what we gained here tonight is that in order to work with the cross-cultural dating, you have to be willing to learn, open-minded, be kind, and yeah, you have to be willing to learn because it's a lot to learn from different cultures, and
Yes.
just be kind and caring to each other.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah, my advice to the viewers is that I would like to refer to my dad. From when we were kids, he always told us that when we get married, what is going to determine the success of our marriage is what we are putting into it, especially as
Inputs.
yeah, what we're putting into it. So when I told him about her, and when I just got married, he called me and he advised me again, and he reminded me of that statement, and he told me what is going to determine my marriage, whether it's successful or not, is what I give into it. If I give something bad, I'm going to get something bad. But if I'm always bringing something positive in, then I'm going to get that in double. That something about your opposite partner is how whatever you show, it's like a mirror. Whatever you give to it, that's what you're going to get back. And especially for women, if you give like 1, you can get as much as 2, 3, 4, 5 back. so
Boss,
okay.
why are you laughing like that?
No, I was just
All right, okay, go ahead.
So you just want to make sure that you're giving something good, and you will get something good in multiple fold back.
Amen.
So,
Thank you so much. Well, viewers, personally, I've learned a lot, and I took some notes here. And the one that blows my mind most says, you don't look at the color of the skin, you look at the color of the heart. Color of the heart. And the best thing you can get for the color of your heart is relationship with Jesus Christ. That's where you get authentic love. But there are some other advice that says, educate yourself about each other's culture and history, so that you can begin to learn and teach one another. Then you must be willing to embrace paradigm shifts. You've had people to my right, to my left talk about shifts, which is very important. But shift also is important in all relationships, not just cross-cultural. And then be willing to go the distance and defend your love. That's very important. Because people who are not as advanced as you, who are not as open-hearted as you, they want to come around and discourage you. And then we have to develop strategies of getting along with the family. That's also very important. Now, there will be occasions where there may be some pushback. When it comes, just learn how to handle it and how to cope with it. In any case, every relationship has some measure of pushback. All right? Okay, good. Now, I want to say this, which is very important. I've seen some cross-cultural marriages here in America where people play the status card to say, I brought you to America. I can get you out of America. I call the police on you. You go back to the village where you're coming from. That's not a marriage.
Does that happen?
Oh my God, a lot. A lot. But you see, it happens because in instances like that, they don't understand the concept of marriage totally. But after going through some series of counseling, things do change. That's very important. Then the issue of gender roles is not just about cross-culture. It's all over the place. On that note, viewers, I just want to say that we can be here for the next several hours and we'll not get to the bottom of the entire thing. But one thing that we are sure of, one thing that's very definite, that we are able to talk here, we are talking because we are Christians, we are children of God, and we are guided by the Spirit of God. And that's a beautiful thing. That's why I want to advise those of you out there, whether it's cross-cultural marriage or the same cultural marriage, Christ must be the cornerstone of your life. We are the Open Pulpit. If you like what you have seen, please subscribe, like, share us, and then watch out for us on YouTube, on Facebook. In the interim, we say God bless you.